Saint Monica, the mother of Saint Augustine, who prayed for his conversion, and patron of mothers, alcoholics, and victims of abuse. Patron of patients, married women, homemakers and housewives, mothers, wives, widows, alcoholics, difficult marriages, disappointing children, victims of adultery or unfaithfulness, and victims of verbal abuse. Widow, born of Christian parents at Tagaste, North Africa, in 333. Died at Ostia near Rome in 387. We are told but little of her childhood. She was married early in life to Patricius, who held an official position in Tagaste. He was a pagan, though, like so many at that period, his religion was no more than a name. His temper was violent, and he appears to have been of dissolute habits. Consequently, Monica's married life was far from being a happy one, more especially as Patricius's mother seems to have been of a like disposition with himself. There was, of course, a gulf between husband and wife. Her alms deeds and her habits of prayer annoyed him, but it is said that he always held her in a sort of reverence. Monica was not the only matron of Tagaste whose married life was unhappy, but by her sweetness and patience, she was able to exercise a veritable apostolate amongst the wives and mothers of her native town. They knew that she suffered as they did, and her words and example had a proportionate effect. 3 children were born of this marriage: Augustine the eldest, Navigius the second, and a daughter, Perpetua. Monica had been unable to secure baptism for her children, and her grief was great when Augustine fell ill. In her distress, she besought Patricius to allow him to be baptized. He agreed, but on the boy's recovery withdrew his consent. All Monica's anxiety now centered in Augustine. He was wayward and, as he himself tells us, lazy. He was sent to Medora to school, and Monica seems to have literally wrestled with God for the soul of her son. A great consolation was vouchsafed her, in compensation perhaps for all that she was to experience through Augustine. Patricius became a Christian. Meanwhile, Augustine had been sent to Carthage to prosecute his studies, and here he fell into grievous sin. Patricius died very shortly after his reception into the church, and Monica resolved not to marry again. At Carthage, Augustine had become a Manichaean, and when on his return home he ventilated certain heretical propositions, she drove him away from her table, but a strange vision which she had urged her to recall him. It was at this time that she went to see a certain holy bishop, whose name is not given, but who consoled her with the now famous words, "The child of those tears shall never perish." There is no more pathetic story in the annals of the saints than that of Monica pursuing her wayward son to Rome, whither he had gone by stealth. When she arrived, he had already gone to Milan, but she followed him. Here she found St. Ambrose, and through him she ultimately had the joy of seeing Augustine yield after 17 years of resistance. Mother and son spent 6 months of true peace at Cassiacum, after which time Augustine was baptized in the Church of St. John the Baptist at Milan. Africa claimed them, however, and they set out on their journey, stopping at Civitavecchia and at Ostia. Here, death overtook Monica, and the finest pages of his Confessions were penned as the result of the emotion Augustine then experienced. Saint Monica was buried at Ostia, and at first seems to have been almost forgotten, though her body was removed during the 6th century to a hidden crypt in the Church of St. Aureus. About the 13th century, however, the cult of Saint Monica began to spread, and a feast in her honor was kept on the 4th of May. In 1430, Martin V ordered the relics to be brought to Rome. Many miracles occurred on the way, and the cultus of Saint Monica was definitely established. Later, the Archbishop of Rouen, Cardinal d'Estouteville, built a church at Rome in honor of Saint Augustine and deposited the relics of Saint Monica in a chapel to the left of the high altar. The office of Saint Monica, however, does not seem to have found a place in the Roman breviary before the 16th century. In 1850, there was established at Notre-Dame de Sion at Paris an association of Christian mothers under the patronage of Saint Monica. Its object was mutual prayer for sons and husbands who had gone astray. This association was in 1856 raised to the rank of an arch-confraternity and spread rapidly over all the Catholic world, branches being established in Dublin, London, Liverpool, Sydney, and Buenos Aires. Eugenius IV had established a similar confraternity long before.